All right, people, having a little bit of a technical difficulties here, but I'm not going to be long. I just want to talk about, finish on what I was saying about the the Atlanta Hawks in the draft tonight. If you haven't heard, the Hawks took Luka Doncic with the third pick in the draft, traded him to the Mavericks for Trey Young and a first round pick. Okay, this pick is five protected. So if the Dallas Mavericks in any way um, have a team that does not make it into the lottery, Dallas Mavericks already said that they are trying playoff team. They want to win. So that could be an excellent pick for the Atlanta Hawks. Um, Again, they traded Luke Doncic to the Dallas Mavericks for Trey Young. A lot of people weren't happy about that. No, they're saying Trey Young, he's a poor man's, he's a poor man's Steph Curry, and he possibly could be. I mean, right now, Steph Curry is one of the most hated NBA players in the league right now. So, I mean, I understand why people are pissed off. I don't understand why people, you know, angry because they're mad. They're still in their feelings about the Golden State Warriors winning the championship. I get it. You guys are all LeBron fans. Most of you guys are complaining. You hate the Golden State Warriors and the way that they play. And the Atlanta Hawks are trying to replicate what the Warriors, how their style of basketball. They are loading this team with shooters. They got it with the 19th pick in the draft. They drafted a guy, Kevin Hubert from Maryland, guy who has an excellent, awesome release, excellent shooter. He can score on all three levels of the court. He can drive. He can hit the mid-range jump shot. He has tremendous range. You have a Trey Young who has tremendous range. He's 6 feet tall. He is a playmaker. He can get other players involved in the offense. Athletic. I mean, he's not he really isn't a Russell Westbrook or James Harden, those type of athletes. So I don't know what the Hawks fans, I don't know what the hell you was looking for. There weren't a lot of players in this draft who are playmakers and game changers. So the Hawks did a tremendous job with what they were dealt. You don't believe in Luka Doncic. I don't either. I'm not sold on him. I'm not sold on a lot of these guys who play in overseas in these leagues where you're playing with old NBA players and players that are hasn't proved anything. I mean, to be honest, man, I hate this even say this, but you're playing with a bunch of white guys. I'm serious, man. You're playing with a bunch of white guys. You're playing with players that are not athletic, and they're not athletic. They don't play they haven't played college ball where you have supreme athletes, both white and black, and a lot of those guys overseas. I hate to say it, and I hate to bust your bubbles, but these guys are unathletic white guys who can shoot the ball. This is what there is. But when you get in the NBA, crap change fast. Okay, things change fast. You dealing with superior athletes like a Russell Westbrook, a Kevin Durant. You have guys like LeBron James. These guys are extreme. Okay, when it comes to being athletic, these guys are the top notch. These guys top level athletes. So a guy like Luka Doncic, I know he's probably one of the premier athletes over in Spain and the Euro League, but this is the NBA. This is a whole different animal. So a guy like Luka, I do not like, and I do not expect much out of him. I know Dallas really expect him to be a superstar, the next Dirk Nowitzki. I don't see it, and I see the Hawks with Trey Young. I think they pretty much got the player with the best offensive upside. If you look at Trey Young, what he can do offensively, I mean, he could be truly special. He could be and I hate even saying Steph Curry because Steph Curry is one of these once in a lifetime type players. I do not expect anyone to be like Steph. So the fact that everybody compare him to Steph, yeah, he could possibly be with this range, his offensive scoring ability. He can He can definitely. He's more of a playmaker than people give him credit for. Nate, no, he's not. 6'6". He's not 6'4". He's a 6 foot guard who can shoot. He can get other players involved. So I like to pick with Trey. I like to pick with Trey Young. Did the Hawks screw up? Did they screw up? I can't say that. I don't see how anybody can say that. Guys have yet to play a game. We don't know what these guys can be. I mean, you can look at DeAndre Ayton, number one pick in the draft. We don't know what he can be. This is college, and we've seen this over and over again. Guys that come from college, these top scorers, like a Trey Young. We don't know if Trey Young is going to be a player, but he has more upside than down. So this is what you're looking for when you're drafting these guys. Yes, they have, and he can't do certain things, but offensively, Trey Young has more upside than he has downside. As far as DeAndre Ayton, a guy that I thought, may possibly, again, we don't know with these players. You've seen it over, and I've seen it over and over again. Marvin Williams. Do we have to remember? Do you guys have to? Do you really, really want to go over the picks? Do you really want to go over these picks? I mean, you look at Marvin Williams coming out of North Carolina. We thought this guy was going to be, an offensive juggernaut. He came in, was absolute trash. One of the worst picks in the draft. You look at the Darko Milicic, Detroit. You remember him coming overseas? They thought he was going to be the next Larry Bird, the next Dirk Nowitzki, a bust. Okafor. Okay, a lot of these guys coming from Duke. A lot of these Duke guys were absolute busts. We don't know if Morgan Bagley is going to be a tremendous player. We don't know anything right now. So the fact of the matter is, everybody's saying this is one of the picks in the, on one of the worst drafts the Hawks have ever had. Man, I really don't know why you guys are saying that. Other than I know a lot of people just, they really think this is a, highlight. The NBA is all about highlights and dunks and having guys like Russell Westbrook do just supreme athletes. They can get to the rack. Okay, it's more to basketball than that. This is why Russell Westbrook get anyone to play with him, because he is, not a basketball player. He's not a team player. Okay, Russell Westbrook is one of those players. He goes one-on-one. This is not what the Hawks are trying to build. The Hawks want to build a team to the Golden State Warriors. No, they are not the Golden State Warriors, and they never will be the Golden State Warriors. But the trend in the NBA right now is you have to have players that can work the pick and roll, shoot the three, and spread the floor. This is what the NBA is all about. This is the new NBA. There's no more need. There's no big man anymore. If you're a big man like a Dwight Howard, you'll be traded like Dwight Howard is. He's been the NBA changed to a jump shooting team, a jump shooting league, a 3-point league. You heard tonight, Adam Silver said there was a record number for 3-pointers made this NBA season. That tells you the league is changing, and this is the type of league that they want. The Hawks are just adjusting with the league. So when it all comes down to it, man, did the Hawks screw this up? I mean, I don't understand how you could come to that conclusion other than outside of what you as a fan wanted. The full trade, Johnny, the full trade with the Hawks in Dallas was Luka Doncic, a first-round pick, Trey Young, the first-round pick for Luka Doncic. That's it. Straight up. It's a top 5 protected pick. So if the Dallas Mavericks, they make it, they suck again, the Hawks won't get the trade. They won't get the first round pick if it's a top 5. And you have Kevin Herbert, a guy from Maryland. If you look at this guy's tape, this guy's an absolute freak. Okay. He has tremendous range as a shooter. Again, the Hawks are adapting to the league, and we saw it with the Warriors. We saw it with the the Houston Rockets that this league is turning to a jump shooting league. No longer will you see a Dwight Howard. No longer will you see Shaquille O'Neal. These type low post. What it's changing to. So the Hawks, they have a they still have Dennis Schroeder. They still have Kent Bazemore. They still have a lot of pieces on that team that they can possibly, if some crazy thing happened where, you know, Kawhi Leonard decides he wants to become a Hawk. I mean, I know that's not likely. I'm dreaming. Okay, I'm dreaming. I'm just making up a scenario. The Hawks have the pieces to possibly make a big trade for a superstar. They potentially have 3 first round picks for the second year in a row. No, Kent Bazemore is still a terrific. Um, I wouldn't say he's a starter. He's a terrific role player. He does what he's supposed to do. He's not worth $75 million, but with the NBA and these contracts, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy with these contracts. But for the most part, man, the Hawks, I like what they did with the draft. Um, Again, man, the NBA has completely changed. This is a 3 point shooting league. If you can't shoot the three, if you can't get to the hole, if you can't if you can't spread the court for a guy like a Trey Young, who can definitely get to the rack, he can definitely dish and get other players involved with the offense. He averaged 8 assists. 8 assists. I know he's not an athletic freak. This is what fans are looking at. You're looking at, what the hell? You're looking at you're really looking at guys like Russell Westbrook, and you want those type of players who can get to the rack, dunk on everybody, and just go live incredible highlights. This is not what it's all about. Basketball is not all about dunking and getting creating all these crazy highlights. And if you want that, we got a player like that. We have Collins. We have Collins. Okay, Collins is a pretty damn good. He's a pretty damn good big man. So the fact of the matter is, man, Hawks fans just really just chill. Let everything, let everything, work its way out, because you still have 3 picks. You still have free agency left, and I don't think anyone is worried even thinking about, free agency. Free agency, the Hawks can easily go out and add more pieces. Again, like I said before, they still have Dennis Schroeder, so they can, if Trey Young pans out to be live up to that top three, the fifth pick in the draft, if he pans out to be one of the best young players in this draft, you still have 3 picks next year. You still have 3 picks next year, and you can trade Dennis Schroeder and bring in someone. As far as um, I mean, why would they trade the 19th and 30? I mean, what's the point of doing that? I mean, if you think about it, why would you trade? Who would even? You still have to pay these guys. Okay, a lot of people are not going to give away, because you have to give away certain things to move up. And other teams are not willing to give up future picks to move up for guys in this draft. And this is not a particularly, deep draft as far as talent. Guys that are, just blow you away. Trey Young and DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, those type players who there weren't a lot of, big time players in this draft. So I don't think any team, you looking at the talent pool, yeah, these guys are pretty good, but they're not world breeders. They're not exceptional, athletes like a LeBron James or Kobe Bryant, those type of players. So trading up to acquire the Hawks picks, I mean, I'm sure that they tried. I'm sure that the Hawks tried to do that, but there's no point in doing it. again, man, Sexton is one of those players who could play defense. We have no idea if he will translate to the NBA. Okay, everything pans out. Everything in the NBA, it doesn't pan out the way we think it is. Okay, we've known this for a long time. Like I said before, who the hell thought that Donovan Mitchell, the guy in Utah, but we will be one of the top rookies in this draft. He was drafted 15th, and he's one of the best young players in this league. And you look at Markel Fultz, the guy in the 76ers, with the 76ers, he was one of the top prospects going into the draft. So, a lot of times, like I said before, man, a lot of times we get so caught up in athleticism, what these guys can do. He's a freak of nature. He's the next LeBron James. You look at Ben Simmons, the boy can't shoot worth a crap, okay? Ben Simmons is absolute. I got a better jump shot than he does, okay? I'm in my 30s and he's still absolute trash. His shit is broke. Ben Simmons is garbage, and he went. If I won't believe, I believe it was the first pick in the draft. Could have been the third, but I believe Ben Simmons was the first pick in the draft. Could be wrong, but Ben Simmons is another one of those players. You look at these guys, and you get so caught up in athleticism. Can he drive? Can he dunk? And what he do? How these make these special plays like LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. A lot of times we get so caught up and we don't think about basketball. Now you look at the Warriors. They don't have exceptional athletes. Steph Curry is not an exceptional athlete. Klay Thompson is not an exceptional athlete. The only person on that team is really an exceptional athlete is Kevin Durant. That's it. And he's sometimes a liability on defense. So it all comes down to chemistry. If your coach can get these players to play in a system and can coach these players into their maximum ability. And I think Lloyd Pierce, I think we're underestimating how good of a coach that Lloyd Pierce really is. I think he was one of those guys who had, Steph Curry early in his career, and Steph Curry contributed Lloyd Pierce to, a lot of his, early on in his career and teaching him how, certain, tactics, the way he can improve his shooting. So you have Trae Young, who is an excellent shooter, and you pair him with Lloyd Pierce. Pierce can possibly get the best out of him offensively. And as far as the Porter, it's obvious about his back. The Atlanta Hawks, we know this all with Marvin Williams. Marvin Williams, again, he had a bad back, and that was one of the reasons why he fell so deep in the draft. I mean, not so deep in the draft. As far as him being a top prospect, people thought he would be, one of those players, but he had had an issue with his back, and we all know what the hell Marvin Williams turned into. So Porter, I think he has tremendous upside as far as his offense is concerned, but you can't play basketball with a bad back. I mean, I'm not surprised that he fell that low because, again, in basketball, if you don't have a back, what good are you? I mean, Larry Bird retired because he had a bad back. So this is a big, big issue. And I think Denver really took a chance on trying to, take a chance on the guy. It wouldn't hurt. Yeah, at least the Braves. And it took a while for the Braves. It took a while. Oh, so your friend, your friend don't know what he's talking about. I'm sorry, but Steve Kerr is one of the best. He's one of the best coaches in the league. I tell people about this all the time. All the time. Okay? You can put three of the best players on one team. Okay? We saw this in Miami. You had LeBron James, D Wade, and Chris Bosh. At the time, it was one of three of the best players in the NBA. Yeah, they won two championships, but those guys could not get along. They couldn't win. They couldn't win. All right, they got beat by San Antonio Spurs, a least turn a talented team. The Spurs whooped that ass. Okay, they whooped Miami. Dallas again. Dallas beat that ass. So you look at talent, and you forget about what a coach is able to do. Steve Kerr, this is not an easy task. You have Steph Curry, you have Klay Thompson, you have Kevin Durant. All these guys were gonna, these are top tier scorers in the league. And if you don't have chemistry, if you don't know how to get these guys the ball, if you don't know how to, coach on the fly, design plays, and how to get these guys open shots, what good is it? What good is a coach? Yeah, as far as Thompson has clearly Clay Thompson is an underrated player, but he's definitely not their best player. Everyone clearly knows Kevin Durant is their best player. But if you want, um, Clay Thompson has a tendency to disappear offensively sometimes. Defensively, he's a top-notch player. He's one of those players that you can depend on to play solid defense all the time. And when it's all said and done, I think Clay Thompson will most likely be traded. He will most likely be traded or let him walk. Because again, man, I think they will keep Kevin Durant. They will keep him and Steph Curry together, and Klay Thompson will be on the way out. And see, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. It took the Warriors a long time to jail. I'm kind of confused with what he's saying. I guess I hear what you're saying. It took him a long time to jail. Mark Jackson had the same team as Kerry did and did nothing with him. And see, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. A lot of times, we when you have an NBA champion like this, and it goes back to Phil Jackson. Okay, Phil Jackson is one of the greatest coaches of all time. Phil Jackson is not one of the great X and O's coach like a Greg Popovich. I put Greg Popovich above Phil Jackson, but what Phil is awesome at, he is awesome with building chemistry and satisfying and put players like a Kobe Bryant who has a massive ego, a guy like Shaquille O'Neal who had massive egos, and he is brilliant at getting these guys to buy into his system and work together. That is chemistry. That is what builds champions and multiple champions. So the fact of the matter is, Steve Kerr. I mean, yeah, yes, he had three of the best shooters in the league. I'm not going to say they're the best players in the league. Kevin Durant is most definitely the second best player in the league next to LeBron James, but you can't say that Steve Kerr is not an excellent coach. That is not an easy job to put up with a Draymond Green and his attitude and this guy's a moron sometimes. Okay, Draymond is a moron. I love the way he plays. I would love Draymond on my team. You have to put up with a Draymond. You have to put up with an ego like Kevin Durant, an ego with Steph Curry, an ego with Klay Thompson. All these guys have elite personality. They think they are the best of the best. No doubt about it. And you have Steve Kerr, who put all that together, and he is able to get the best out of these guys. So Steve Kerr, come on, man. You can't tell me that he's not an excellent coach. You cannot tell me that he's an excellent coach. This is not an easy job to do that. But as far as because as far as oh my God, I really don't see how the Warriors get so much flack for something that LeBron started himself. LeBron started all this mess. He started all this, and when Golden State just so happened to do it better than what LeBron has done, you want to hate LeBron. You want to hate the Warriors and love LeBron. You want to have this pity party for LeBron, and he started all this mess. Okay, the reason why Golden State did that anyway is because the guy they want to win, bro. They want to win, and they knew what LeBron is going to do. They stole the championship from him. They stole the championship from him. That was one of the reasons why Draymond Green called Kevin Durant. This was in the work for years. That was in the works for the entire year. They already knew that they wanted to go after Kevin Durant. That was a new story. That was in the storylines before they even got Kevin Durant. There was a possibility that he wanted to go to Golden State, and it would be a perfect pick, a perfect fit to go to Golden State. So it's not a surprise to me, man. Golden State Warriors, they wanted Kevin Durant so they could continue to win championships. I have no problem with that. If I was Kevin Durant, I possibly would have done the same thing, especially when you have LeBron James. He's been doing this all his career. He did it with Miami. He left Cleveland to go to Miami, and then left Miami to do the exact same thing in Cleveland. Create a super team. So the fact of the matter, man, y'all can hate Golden State all you want to, but those boys played the game how it's supposed to be played. Simple as that. They played their ass off, man. They played their ass off. They played defense. They tremendous offensively. And what Steve Kerr does, what I love what Steve Kerr does, he has the innate ability to change lineups and adapt to whatever style they want, whatever style the defense, the opposite team plays. They can throw out multiple different lineups at you. This is what Steve Kerr adds to that team. You can stop. You can have at a point in a game, you can have Kevin Durant run the point. You have multiple people on that team who can run the and be the primary scorer at any time. And you still adapt. And they still learn to adapt. And they still play at a high level. That is not easy. And people say it's over and over again. Why? Okay, they have Kevin Durant, they have Steph Curry, and they have Klay Thompson. You saw what Houston did to them. You saw what Houston did to them. That doesn't mean anything. You still have to play the game. You still have to have chemistry. You still have to work together. So the fact of the matter, yeah, he can have all the best players in the league, but that doesn't mean all of them can play together. So as far as I'm concerned, man, who won this draft? That's kind of difficult because I think this was one of the weakest drafts. I know a lot of people, saw a lot of athletes, but for me, man, if anyone won this draft, I would probably have to say, Phoenix. They did a terrific job of, yeah, this was a trash draft. This is a garbage draft. I'm like I said, I'm not really surprised by what the Hawks did. They just took the best shooters at each position because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to adapt to this current NBA where they call the game for the most part for guys who can shoot, who can get to the basket. That's it. Spread the floor, shoot threes, and get to the basket. That's what the NBA is turned to. It's no longer can you have a big guy who is a low post scorer. You have to have a guy that possibly is like an Anthony Davis who can shoot the three, shoot the mid range, and he's a low post threat. This is what the NBA is turned to. So this draft didn't have a lot of these guys. This draft, outside of Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic. I mean, from that point on, it's a toss up. Jaren Jackson is a pretty good player, but I wouldn't say he's a tremendous a tremendous talent as far as one of those once in a lifetime type players. He wasn't, you know, for me, he wasn't one of those big players. One of those players that you just had to have. Jaren Jackson wasn't that for me. So outside the first three picks, this draft was really it was a weak draft for me. I really don't blame the Hawks for what they did. I thought they did the best of what they could possibly do with what the talent pool that they had to deal with. Mo Bamba, again, man. Why would we? What do we need with Mo Bamba? Seriously, what do we need with Mo Bamba? Do people forget that we have a guy like? Do we really forget that we have a guy like Collins? Did we not see what this guy did the entire year? We just everything. When we see a draft, we just want the best players and don't even not even concerned about how they can fit in with the current players that they have on the roster. Mo Bamba would not fit in with this team. He would not fit in with the Hawks. He doesn't fit in with the scheme what the Hawks are trying to build. That's what players don't under. That's what fans don't understand. This is what people don't understand when you're in the draft. You're building a draft. You look at the talent roster and see how a guy can fit in with the current talent that you have on the roster. It's not always get the best player. It's not always get the best athlete. You have to see how this player can fit in with the current players that you have, and you go from there. And this is why Cleveland drafted a Sexton. Sexton is a pretty good point guard, but playing with LeBron, if he plays with LeBron, because I think LeBron is on the way out, how is he going to fit in? Can he shoot? Is he a good spot up shooter? Can he create his own shot? Because 99% of the time, LeBron's gonna have that ball in his hands. So you guys, like I said before, man, this is why Kyrie left Cleveland, and it's not because of LeBron's attitude and whatnot. It's because Kyrie Irving is a guy who needs the ball in his hand. He doesn't want to play off the ball. He doesn't want to be a spot up shooter. He don't want to, just be a second tier player and just watch and stand and look at LeBron James. Kyrie wants the ball in his hand. So it's not so much that he wanted, he couldn't stand his guts or whatnot. But a lot of these players, man, going to Cleveland, Kevin Love, he was one of the most, the best players as far as low post. This guy was a 25 and 10 player. Excellent low post game. He's a great shooter and awesome rebound. But when he went to Cleveland, he completely sacrificed and changed his game to fit in with LeBron James. So a lot of times, man, you don't draft players based on their talent, what they can do. You draft players on what they can, provide for their team. How can they fit in with your team, man? Mo Bamba is possibly, again, you looking at college. How is it going to translate? How is he going to? Nerlens Noel was the same type of player, and look what he is. Okay, look what the hell he is. He's a journeyman. We get so caught up in looking at these players, what they did in college, and see how they're going to translate into the NBA. This is a wait and see type of draft. Okay, especially this year. We don't know what none of these guys are going to be like. Aiton could possibly be a bust. Okay, Mo Bamba could be a bust. Trey Young could be a bust. Luka could be a bust. This is not a tremendous draft. This is what it goes. I keep saying this over and over again, man. If Steph Curry played in any other system, I don't think he'd have the same Steph Curry. He will not have the freedom to shoot the way he shoot because he shoots some crazy ass shots. He shoots some half court shots. Who the hell? What other team would give him? Popovich would go down his damn throat. Okay, Popovich would not allow a Steph Curry to shoot shots like that he's shooting Golden State. There's no way in hell Popovich would put up with Steph Curry. No way in hell. There's no way in hell he would put up with Steph Curry shooting the shots that he shoots. So again, I say it all the time, man. It all comes down to what type of player and how that player fits into your scheme. It's not all about talent. Because if you look at Steph Curry, he's not the greatest defender. He's not the greatest defender. He's not the greatest athlete, but he's a tremendous scorer. And you put him in the right system where he has the freedom to do whatever he wants. Yeah, he can be definitely, Steph Curry is a Hall of Famer right now. One of the best shooters I've ever seen in my life. He is the best shooter I've seen in my life. As far as, Kawhi and Popovich, man, look, man, I'm gonna say this, man. Kawhi's a bitch. He's a straight up bitch. All right, that's a straight ass sucker move. I would not want this guy on my team. I wouldn't waste any money. I wouldn't waste $150 million on this guy. I don't give a fuck how good he is. He's probably one of the best. He is the best two-way player in the league. And for him to completely and utterly quit on his team, and he has Greg Popovich out here. I mean, he has Popovich traveling to talk to him to see if he can get him to come back. And we know Kawhi doesn't want to be there. He is not coming back. It's 1 year and done. And who in the hell would even trade for Kawhi Leonard? No one is going to give up picks for Kawhi Leonard because we know that he wants to be a free agent and he wants to go to LA. Either the Clippers or the Lakers. That's what Kawhi wants. Yeah, pretty much. The players run the league. This is the NBA has completely changed. No longer it is a coach dominated, front office dominated league. Players have too much power, if you ask me. Players have too much power, and but it all balances out. The players have a lot of power. They can demand certain things like LeBron James do it. But, it's a double-edged sword. The NBA owners, they make billions of dollars off these players, and the players want their money. So I have no issue with it, but, me being an old school guy, I like, a little bit of, I guess, balance, you want to say. I want players and the front office to be, on one accord where guys can, get along with the front office. But right now, when you have these and so much money, you have the television contracts, you have these endorsements. I mean, Trae Young signed an endorsement deal before he was even fucking drafted. Bagley signed an endorsement deal before he was even drafted. This is a player and money driven league. So the days of guys staying in one with one team, this is extremely rare, and I think those days are gone. And this is what what we left with this type of NBA. Players dominate everything because they make so much freaking money. And if you go anywhere in the NBA, you can still get paid $200 million if you're a superstar. If you're a star, you can get $100 million with no problem. Yes, it's a real life 2K, NBA 2K. For real, man. This is what the NBA is turning to. It's a 3-point shootout. It's like playing on rookie. Like playing on rookie, man. You just stand out, shoot threes, and score 150, 100, 200 points in a game. This is what the NBA is going to turn into. It's exactly what the NBA is going to turn into. It's going to turn into NBA 2K, a video game, man. But it's all good, man. NBA draft. This is the first one I've seen in its entirety in a long time. Hawks fan. We for the last 2 years, I think we did pretty well with the draft. I loved what the Hawks did with the draft, man. I know a lot of people just upset. I know everyone around the league is pretty much upset. Outside of Phoenix, I thought Phoenix did a terrific job. Um, Not too many teams. It's not really too many teams that had an excellent draft. I thought, Dallas did an okay job getting the players that they wanted, but those are the people that they wanted, and that was the type of scheme, the players that they wanted inside their scheme. So, man, it all comes down to it when these guys play, and I think summer ball will be in a couple of weeks. So in 2 weeks, we will see what Trey Young is about. We will see what Kevin Herbert, I'm Hubert, I think I'm saying the guy name right, but the shooting guard from Maryland. We will see what all these can bring to the Hawks. We will see if Luka Doncic is worth anything. We will see what DeAndre Ayton. And a lot of times, man, these guys, injuries happen in the NBA. And a lot of times, like I said before, man, we don't know what these players are going to do until we see them on the court. And I said this before. Look at Donovan Mitchell. This guy is a prolific scorer. No one would have said when you saw this guy, last year in the draft, yeah, he had, had talent, but no one would say that he would be one of the scorer that he is right now. He was balling in the playoffs. So, man, just wait and see how everything, works itself out. Atlanta Hawks, they have a lot of shooters. You have Collins, you have a Torian Prince, and you have a Dorsey. You have a couple other players on the Hawks team that that can show us something. I mean, we only won 24 games last year. We won 24 games last year, so we can try to trade Dennis Schroeder for a player, someone young or someone, I doubt George and whatnot. So I'm not even worried about that. Everybody want to play in the West. Everybody want to, all these superstars want to, be on these. Everybody want to join forces and whatnot. So the Hawks have to build from the draft. They have to take players, try to take chances. They took a chance on Trey Young. They think Trey Young has a bit of upside, and if I read correctly, they were kind of split. Some guys wanted Luka, and some guys wanted Trey. So eventually, Travis, chose Trey Young. So that works out, man. But again, man, I appreciate you guys, tuning in, talking about this draft, and I'm gone, man. Peace, man. I'm out of here.